While Billy and Mandy was not the scariest cartoon I watched while growing up, it was the funniest horror parodying cartoon of my childhood. Billy, Grimm, and Mandy are one of my favorite trios on television. They introduced me to some very silly, surreal, messed up, and funny moments. Now I shall reveal my top 10 The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy Adventures. Just a warning, this list is based on my personal preferences, opinions, and my overall experience while watching, so don't be surprised if some of your favorite episodes are not present in this video and you might not agree with my entire list, which is fine. Another warning is that I'm going to reveal some spoilers while talking about some of the episodes. You've been warned.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 10 is The Nerve. Something about watching Mandy without having her raw and menacing nerve is just really interesting. This episode is about Billy and Grimm removing Mandy's physical raw nerve inside her head, and it really is a raw nerve.
Closer look at you. Okay, yeah. It's coming to me, it's coming to me. How about snack face?
Billy wants to have Mandy's nerve to avoid being tossed around by Spurg, and Grimm helps Billy because he doesn't want to be tossed around by Mandy anymore. They successfully remove the nerve from Mandy and she becomes a wimp.
This is insane. I can't go on like this. I gotta get my nerve back. But how? Ah!
The concept also gives us a possible explanation for why Mandy hates everything. Maybe she hates everything because she fears everything and she deals with that fear with rage. We also get to learn that Grimm would rather deal with bossy Mandy than bossy Billy, which really goes to show how Mandy isn't that much of a giant jerk compared to her peers. Not that she isn't.
Grim, can you honestly say you're much happier having Billy boss you around than me?
This episode had everything needed to reach the 10th position. Solid concept, solid jokes, solid conclusion.
You're not what makes me Mandy. I don't need some pompous polyp to make me dark, foreboding, and charmingly cynical.
And a general solid experience.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 9 is Little Daddy. Now, I appreciate Crawling Niceness for introducing one of my favorite running gags of this show, Billy being afraid of his spider son. But this episode took this Billy Jeff the spider relationship into a better level. While Crawling Niceness was about Billy trying to squish his ironically nice spider son,
Billy only hatched the egg, people, that's all.
Little Daddy had that element and included Jeff the spider trying to communicate with his father. I just find it funny how Jeff is a really cool guy trying to have a better relationship with his father Billy, while Billy is just too afraid of him that he constantly shouts in terror and tries to kill him.
It's working, Mandy. He's showering me with gifts.
Mandy of course advises Jeff to be mean to Billy, which after a few missteps done by Jeff, led to a really funny scene where Jeff complains about Billy while Grimm simultaneously complains about Mandy, which is another running gag I really like.
Grim, what have you done to deserve this?
Yeah, what did I do to deserve this?
Leave me alone, you jerk! Clean my room, Grim. I hate you, you horrible little monster.
I hate you, you horrible little monster!
This episode goes to show how funny this television show can be.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 8 is My Fair Mandy. Billy and Mandy had a major problem for me. I don't feel like the show gave Mandy the focus she deserved, which make this episode along with others very special. This episode is about Mandy entering a beauty pageant and just saying that sounds weird.
Do you think I'm pretty?
Well, Mandy intended to beat Mindy at her own game to shut her up, so I get it a little. Now, I don't consider Mandy ugly. Her design looks good, but the show jokingly interprets her as ugly, and this episode made the best out of this joke.
Wow, Mandy! You look lots better!
Normally, I wouldn't be okay at everyone calling her ugly, but the reason why this joke works for me is because it was exaggerated and the episode was self-aware of it.
Well, it's not as bad as you made it sound. Of course, we'll have to do something about that nose.
No, the other one.
Other one? What other? Oh my goodness! Ah! I mistook her for an angry tree stump.
Also, Mandy didn't feel not even in the slightest offended, which cools down the cruelty. However, what really won me about this episode was Mandy smiling. The entire episode was really about Mandy smiling. In order for Mandy to win the beauty pageant, everyone agreed Mandy had to smile, and everyone tried really hard to make her smile. One thing that caught my attention was Mandy's reaction on her smiling. She didn't kind of argue when she was told that she had to smile in the beauty pageant, and she was also not very physical or aggressive when everyone tried to force her to smile. She was a little indifferent, as if her smiling was not something out of her interest or control, which shows that maybe Mandy doesn't smile because she chooses not to. Maybe she just doesn't know how to smile like normal people. Now that that's inconvenient to her. She was uncomfortable with smiling at the end and she refused to smile during training. At the end she smiles, which hilariously and strangely causes the universe to collapse itself and turn our three main characters into the Powerpuff Girls.
Girls, get up! Mojo Jojo just snuck into a movie theater without paying!
We're on it, Professor.
I think they made this episode specifically for me. Now this episode has one inconsistency. This wasn't really the first time Mandy smiled. Mandy has smiled 6 times. Yes, 6 times. And I'm not even counting the episode Crushed. But then again, this show breaks their continuity all the time, and at times Mandy smiled were back in the grim and evil days, so I can let this one slide.
What does this girl's attitude say to you?
Ooh, it says bad things. Things I'm not supposed to repeat. Make the bad things go away. I'll be good, Mommy. I promise.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 7 is Which Came First, and my god, this episode might have the funniest concept I've ever seen in cartoons, or at least one of the best. It's about giant genetically enhanced super chickens attacking our main characters. By the way, the writers were pretty serious with this episode. They gave us a pretty energetic, suspenseful, and orchestrated episode. They even gave us what I thought to be a believable, quick, and interesting background for these super chickens.
This laboratory was built underneath a dormant volcano and used by the military to train super chickens during the Cold War. After budget cuts and a few mishaps, I'm the only one left. Now, the chickens have escaped.
Is it even possible to feel sad after watching this episode? Is it possible to leave this episode without a smile? Which reminds me, this is one of the funniest episodes of the show. This episode just wouldn't stop throwing us good jokes.
Grim, can't you do anything about these chickens?
Nah, these monsters were created by science, out of my jurisdiction.
If I'm not mistaken, someone on Reddit asked Maxwell Adams what's his favorite episode, and he said it was the one with the chickens. And I understand why. This episode was cleverly written.
Aw, we were having fun.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 6 is Tricycle of Terror. This may be the most heartwarming episode of this list. The episode starts off with Billy crashing his bike and feeling sad because he was the only kid without a bike.
You put one foot in front of the other.
Is Billy sad for an actual relatable reason? And that's really how I can describe Billy in this episode. After Billy feels sad for not having a bike, a dark figure gives Billy a haunted tricycle and Billy feels happy because he'll ride something. Unfortunately, everybody else gives him a hard time for riding a tricycle, and it really did feel sad when Billy was hurt by Irwin.
Dripping mashed potatoes all down his bib. You're right. Trikey is cool, and I haven't worn a bib in months.
Billy was actually hurt and I understood him. Billy even acts logically in this episode. At a point, Billy decided not to let anyone's opinion affect his satisfaction with the tricycle, which is something I would do. At the end, after Mandy told Billy that the tricycle was haunted and attacked everyone that hurt Billy, it didn't take too long before he decided to put an end to the tricycle with Mandy's help. The reason why I like this episode is that we get to see Billy go through something painful, and something I can relate to, all in the usual Billy and Mandy style. Unfortunately, Billy is not a character easy to relate to in this show because of his stupidity and irrationality, which are two things I didn't find in this episode, luckily.
Just when I thought you couldn't get no lamer, you show up on that thing! I don't care what you say about Tricycle. They're just words, and words can't hurt me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 5 is Mandy Bites Dog, and this is another really funny episode. So funny that at first this was going to be number 1 of this list. The real star of this episode for me was Saliva. Saliva was on fire when it came at making me laugh.
Saliva, you need to be savage, like a wolf. Or a lion.
Or a bunny.
This episode was about Mandy rivaling Minnie at who has the best dog. At first, Mandy tried to make Saliva more vicious because Saliva is incredibly pathetic. Then Mandy called Grimm's dog, a big and monstrous one by the way, to train him and to become her replacement dog. This is another special episode where the focus is on Mandy. I mean, not even Billy's around for that much, and you know what? I like it when the focus is on Mandy. But the real character that won me in this episode was Saliva, with his pathetic moments and his sad moments when he saw he was being replaced. My favorite part of this episode is when Mandy accepts Saliva as what he is.
Saliva, you really are a pathetic dog. But I guess you're my pathetic dog. Come on, let's go home.
You don't get to see that in this show, so be glad when this type of woman shows up.
Nobody saw that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 4 is Keeper of the Reaper, and yeah, this episode had to appear in this list. This is a fan favorite, and you wonder why? Fine, I'll tell you why. Fred Burger, that's why.
Hey, whose house is that?
Eh,
Whose house was that?
it's my house.
Oh, that's a nice house.
Thanks!
That's really what I can say about this episode. Fred Burger is the man responsible for the greatness of this episode. This episode is about Billy and Mandy fighting for Grimm's custody in the Underworld Court. This battle of custody led to some really funny moments, especially the ones when Mandy would argue why Billy shouldn't have custody of Grimm, and Billy would just make things worse for him whenever he tried to defend himself.
A hat that belonged to another of Billy's pets, one Wiggy Jiggy Jed. That is, until Billy destroyed him.
I had a good reason! He bored me!
Most of the defenses consisted on throwbacks, and it's nice to know this show has a bit of continuity. But still, that's not the big one of this episode. But I've already told you what's the big one.
And sit back down.
But I wasn't finished.
Fred Burger is this green elephant thing who just for some reason is called by the court to be a jury. Now, he's actually a nice guy, but here's the thing, the guy's incredibly annoying. More adorably annoying. He annoys everyone, especially the judge.
What is wrong with you?
Judge?
No, shut up!
Judge?
Shut up!
Judge?
I order you to shut up!
Judge?
Why won't you shut up?
Judge?
He also talks funny. The guy is voiced by C.H. Greenblatt, the man who storyboarded this episode. This episode features a song, and honestly, what came after the song was stronger than the song itself.
I have to make poo-poo!
Fred Burger was so beloved by fans that he ended up showing up in the movie and the K&D crossover. What's kind of funny about Keeper of the Reaper is that I had never actually watched this episode as a kid. I first watched this episode this year, and let's just say I couldn't stop quoting Fred Burger after watching this episode. I would always say yes, the way this green elephant thing does.
Yes!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 3 is Who Killed Who, and now we're getting serious. This show is not really that scary. I mean, yes, it does have a creepier atmosphere than many cartoons, and it's a parody of the horror genre, but I wouldn't really consider this scary like, say, Courage. Most episodes of this show are about making us laugh. I say most because Who Killed Who is an exception. I'm pretty sure they made this episode to scare us, and boy, this episode scares me at least. So there's this old house that's rumored to be haunted, where Billy accidentally threw his dice set. Mandy asks why he won't get the dice back, They respond saying that there's a ghost named Mrs. Doodling living in that house, and Grim confirms that to be true by telling us the story of that house. And you know that when Grim talks about supernatural stuff, he's not kidding around.
Thing that went beyond that fence never came back. Never.
Mandy, who doesn't believe in ghosts, goes to the house to get the stupid dice back, and her journey at getting there is spooky. She eventually enters the house and eventually meets Mrs. Doodling, and they bonded a little.
Good shot, Mandy.
Now, here are two things I really like about this episode. Firstly, it's Mrs. Doodling. She's a really cool person with some terrifying moments.
Feels like an eternity.
Secondly, it's Mandy. I don't think this episode would have worked if they had given the main role to someone else. Her brave and skeptic approach allows her and us to enter the spooky part of this episode, and her moments where she's scared and just doesn't know what's going on allows us to relate to her while following the journey of this episode. However, the reason why this episode is number 3 is the ending. I'm not going to spoil you if you haven't watched. I recommend you check out the episode yourself. All I can say is that the ending is the most claustrophobic and scariest scene of this entire show.
Mrs. Doolin beat Grim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 2 is Brown Evil. If you like zombies, you might find some enjoyment in this 2-part episode. So basically what happened was that Billy added evil powder on his brownies thinking that it was salt. What he didn't know was that the powder would cause the dead to come back to life, and guess to do what? To eat the brownies he baked. That's right, not to eat brains, not to eat human flesh. They want to eat the brownies. The part of the episode where they set up the zombies was amazing. Eventually, everyone noticed the rise of the zombies. All of the zombies were heading to Billy's house where the brownies were located. We also receive an appearance of the most badass character of this entire show, Hoss Delgado.
Smell evil.
It's Hoss Delgado.
It's Horse Delgado?
It's Pat the Baker!
Hoss Delgado managed to bring some action into this episode, which was needed. I mean, this is a zombie episode. We even got a lightsaber fight at the end of the episode. There's also a suspicious zombie chicken in the episode.
There's a zombie chicken! And it's got a zombie egg!
I say suspicious because at the end it is indirectly suggested that he might not be a zombie, which led me to think this chicken is the same chicken from Courage. This episode is really cool. It has good action, good jokes, good music, and a funny concept.
Let's smell what Pat the Baker's cooking.
Wow! You have a Pat the Baker game?
Here are some honorable mentions.
The Shadow World is the nexus of a billion alternate realities. Merely setting foot in the Shadow World could endanger all of existence. Besides, it's off limits to idiots. No. No. And the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. Oh, the ding dong day, oh, the ding dong day.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Number 1 is Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. This is an easy choice for me. This episode has everything. It has a great story, great villain, great theme song, and a great homage to the Jack-o'-lantern legend. I don't even like Halloween, and yet this episode ends up entertaining me. What astonishes me about this episode is that for the first 6 minutes, the story felt like your average Billy and Mandy episode. It's just Billy, Grim, and Mandy trick-or-treating. However, during the first 6 minutes, you knew this was going to be something different. This episode started up with a different opening sequence, and the score of this episode felt creepier than usual. But then this episode showed us its true colors after 8 minutes, when we were introduced to Jack. Jack is a great villain. He has a pretty interesting and dark background and a good motive. I love the sequence where Jack uses Grimm's sight to open a portal that unleashes spirits from the underworld, and they embody the pumpkins.
Chaos will reign! Be free, spirits of the underworld! Take these pumpkins for bodies and live again! Together, we will rule the night! And take our revenge on the people of Endsville!
By the way, this episode is a little darker than most Billy and Mandy episodes. The story of Jack is portrayed as a little goofy but also a little dark. There's even a scene where we witness blood. This episode isn't really about Billy and Mandy's personal lives, but both of them had their moments. This was really about Jack and a bit of Grimm. When I finished rewatching this episode, all I wanted was more. More of Billy and Mandy. After this episode, I wouldn't stop binge watching this show. And as I rewatched this show, I was remembering and watching for the first time great adventures of these three characters. Billy and Mandy was one of the most influential shows of my childhood, and even as a 19-year-old, I'm impressed and entertained. If a show that has a genre that you don't particularly like amazes you, you know they did a good job. Oops, I'm off topic. Jack Black Halloween is a great and epic Halloween special, and it's my favorite episode of this entire show.
Billy, it's us.
But
It's a costume.
I don't get it.
Well, this was impressive. I ended up not spoiling that much. You're probably disappointed how I didn't put Wishbones, The Grim Adventures of the Kids Next Door, The Show That Dares Not to Speak Its Name, Little Rock Horrors, and others. Well, it's okay if you think those deserve to be on a top 10 list, because I like those episodes too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye for now.